Okay, in previous video we have learned about some information on Perl, and let me repeat it. First one is, what is Perl? Perl is a general purpose programming language where it is used for text manipulation. Now it is used for wide range tasks including system administration, network programming, web development, and so on. Coming to Perl, it is a stable language. It's a cross-platform language, and it is abbreviated as practical extraction and report language. Practical extraction and report language, used for projects, some critical projects. Hold on, let me move this one. Used for some critical projects and GUI development. Used for what? GUI development in industry. It's an open source, open source. It's free. It's an open source. You can find it in perl.org. There are two forms, and Strawberry and Active State. You can download any one of that from perl.org. It was developed by Larry Wall in 1980. Oh, sorry, in 1987. Coming to futures. What to tell? Okay, coming to futures. Perl takes basic features from C, AWK, Shell, SED, and BSS, basic. Okay, let's go to another page. It is used for databases integration. Third-party databases like Oracle, Sybase, MySQL, Postgres, SQL, PostgreSQL, and this is an object-oriented databases, object-based databases, and it also supports now present trend in databases is MongoDB. It also supports, Perl also supports MongoDB. All right, it is used in markup languages like HTML, XML, and so on. Other markup languages also supported, and it's an Unicode form. It has a Unicode format. It is an interpreted language. Coming to Perl, it also supports and implements C and C++ libraries with interfacing interfaces of Swig, SWIG, and what's the other one? XS. Perl also supports C++ and C libraries with interfaces of Swig and SS. excess, sorry. As I already said, it's an interpreted language. It's known as duct tape, ducttape, duct tape of internet. It means it binds things between two web pages. Perl is used for binding things, so it's called duct tape of the internet. And for example, for this is Google. Google is developed on Perl. All right. Perl it can also be used for encrypted data. Sorry, the pen is not working very well. Let's go to create a new page and write it here. Perl is used for encrypted data transactions. Data transactions. It's embedded on web servers to speed up the processing, like up to 100% used on web servers. All right. Perl is an object-oriented and procedural language. We'll be learning about this as we go deeper into our syllabus. In near future, we'll be learning it. All right. Now let's get into uh, real stuff. Uh, let's get into Perl syntaxes and like what we should how we should use Perl and how to write code in Perl. All right. I already said that. Okay, let's start a new page. Syntax overview. All right. I already said you that Perl got its concept from AWK, C, shell, uh, small talk, and list, and blah blah blah, whatever. So we'll be having uh, those syntaxes embedded, or we'll be finding those syntaxes in Perl too. Like Perl program, every statement is ended with semicolon. This is a common one. Everyone knows it. Every statement is ended by semicolon. And let's how to compile Perl program. We'll be using Perl interpreter, EERL. For example, let me show you. I'm using standard Windows PowerShell for executing my Perl commands and Perl things. And I've created my Perl directory in E drive. E space. It's going to the folder, Perl practice. This is the folder. Okay, let's see. I have written some Perl documents over here. Okay, like this is the where is it? This is one small code where I'm trying to add two numbers, one from array and mm, other is size of an array. I took an array of 1 to 100 and I am calculating the array size with copying the size into a variable called size, and this is a random sample program. Let's think this is a random sample program. Let's not get into too much of details for this. Let's execute this program, right? What is this mul.pl? I have stored this I've stored the Perl document extension with pl. What is an extension for Perl? Extension for Perl is pl. Remember that extension for Perl is pl. We'll be executing it like Perl space file name dot Perl dot pl. I'm sorry. Let's write the syntax here. How to execute it. How to execute Perl. Perl has an interpreter called Perl, and we'll be appending our file to this interpreter. Like this is the syntax. Perl with the file name dot pl extension. The file names with pl extension can be executed with Perl interpreter. Right? Let's execute this in an example here. I'm using mul as my file name, so let's execute this program. Or basically, okay, it's all right. mul.pl. See, actually, this is the program. What I've written. This is a multiple line string in printing it in multiple lines, and I've done some array operations. Or let's get into a simple thing. This will be a simple thing. I saved it as mul.pl, and let's do it again. Alright, hello world. Alright, this is a basic example where we'll be learning our programming language. That will be our first program, right? Hello world. Okay, let's get into details. Alright, let's talk about variables, data types. In Perl, let's talk about what data types. Sorry. It's D, not P. Data types. Okay, coming to Perl. Perl is a. Let's get into new page, man. We're talking about data types. think that is a data type. Okay, I'm sorry, like my writing pad is not supporting me today. It's all, my pen has been broken, so I'm struggling with it. Forgive for my that stupid writing on this thing, on this paper. Okay, let's talk about it. Why about data types? All right, Perl is a loosely typed language where interpreter chooses itself context of the variable. I mean, remember this: interpreter chooses the context of variable. What I meant to say, let's talk uh, about this in near future. Underline it, remember it. Interpreter chooses the context of variable. All right. On. Okay, explain with me. Okay, remember, interpreter chooses the context of variable. Okay, there are three basic data types. One is scalar, second one is array, and third one is hashes, hash. Okay, scalar. Coming to scalar, what is scalar? Scalars are simple variables. They are preceded by dollar sign, and it can be either a number, string. Number includes uh, like floating point, decimal, hexadecimal, whatever number it is, you can fit into that. String and reference. Let's talk about this later, near future. Mark it up. Okay. Reference. What is reference? We'll talk it in near future. Okay. What is array? Array is a group of scalar numbers here. Array is a group of scalar variables. Group of scalar variables. And it is represented with at symbol. At. We'll be using in emails at blah blah blah.com. That at. Alright. At hash. And these are, as you said, array. I almost forgot to say. It starts with an index 0 to n minus 1. It's an index. Will be index of array. If a is 2, we will be getting, there will be two elements, 0 and 1 will be the index of the elements in a. For example, a has two elements of like 1 and 2. Index of first element will be 0 and second element will be 1. So the total number is n, and index will be always, highest index will be always n minus 1, that is 2 minus 1. I mean to say is 1. Index of this highest number, highest index will be 1 and lowest index will be always 0. Got it? We are talking about hash, right? Hash. What is hash? Hashes are unordered sets of unordered sets of keys or values, where you will be using keys as we'll be using let me write it here, keys as subscripts. I'm sorry for this writing because I'm really having a bad pen, so forgive me for this. Right. Hash. Okay, let me do it again. Hashes are unordered sets of keys or values. Okay, sorry, I already told you, keys or values, right? And it is preceded by percentage symbol. Let's get into examples and one by one. Let's summarize. All right. Okay. Data types. Perl is a loosely typed language, and interpreter chooses the context of the variable. Remember this point. Interpreter chooses the context of variable. There are three types of there are three data types called scalar, array, and hash. Scalar are just like a number, a string, or a reference. Like in C, we don't have data types like specific data types for each thing, like integer, float, or character, like that. We will be having a universal data called scalar. We'll be using scalar as a number, we'll be using scalar as string. We can also use reference. Remember this word reference. We'll be talking about it later. All right. Coming to second one, coming to array. Array is an ordered list of scalars that you can access in numeric index which starts with 0. I mean to say is uh, to simply you can say it as a group of scalar variables where each array is preceded by at symbol. We will be declaring it as at array a equals to values. All right. Let's talk about syntax later. First we will see this in order wise. All right. Hash is an unordered sets of key or value pairs that you can access using the subscripts. You can use subscripts for accessing hash variables. It has a key. Okay. It has a key, and each key has a value. We'll be using key and values to access our data. All right. And it's preceded by percentage symbol. Well, that's about variables. Data types. Let's get into practical programming now.